This is my backpacking DIY first aid kit. Been meaning to do this video for a long time, and actually have been asked to do it by several people. So we're going to kick this thing out right now. First, know that I am not a trained medical professional. This is just stuff that I've put together through some research, through experience of being out backpacking, thinking, gosh, this is what I need, that's what I need. So that's what this boils down to. The intent of this is to give you an idea, a good solid idea of what you might need and what you could use in your first aid kit in your backpacking. So let's start with just the outside the container of this. I'm a big fan of using what I have on hand in the house. Are there better bags to use than this? Yes, there are. But again, sometimes it's just tough to research and find stuff and actually get it. A lot of that just has to do with time. We're kind of all strapped with time. Anyway, this is a Ziploc bag, but to give it a little more stability and a little more strength, I just took some packaging tape and wrapped that around the Ziploc bag to give it some extra strength, like I said. And that's held up quite well. I mean, you can see that it's, you know, the tape's collected a little dirt in there, but not a big deal. Also, what I'm doing here, I'm going to redo this a little bit, and we'll talk about that as I get this stuff out. Here are the contents of the bag. Now, at the end, we'll talk about things that I would like to add and some things that I'm going to change. First, we'll start with the bandages. Pretty normal here, just your everyday average type of bandages. The quantity that I've got in here, there's really no rhyme or reason to that. It's just I kind of grabbed a handful. Here's some knuckle bandages and some larger bandages. And then in that same department, we have some nice gauze pads. Now there are definitely better things out there on the market. They're also more expensive. So again, this is what I have laying around the house, and some of the expensive stuff, honestly, I've kind of left around the house for the kids. We actually have an industrial type first aid kit in the house, and we've ordered that through somebody, and so that's kind of where a lot of this stuff has come from, is I've pilfered it from there, and then we get it replenished. Antibacterial towelettes, just, you know, for little minor scrapes or something like that. Actually use these to wipe the hands off too if you needed to. I've never used them for that. This is basically your Neosporin, some antibiotic ointment. Keep a few of those in there. Butterflies. They have what they call steri strips, and steri strips are actually much better than butterflies. They are hard to come by, and we do have some of those in that first aid kit, that industrial first aid kit that we have in the house, but they're expensive, so I thought, I'll just go with the butterflies. If I cut myself out there, those will work. This is part of that tailoring process of building your own first aid kit. You can see this is children's daytime cold and cough. This actually I need to take out, it's expired. That's another reason I'm going through this. But taking my kids up, sometimes they get hay fever, they've got a little cold or a little cough with them. So this helps to prevent that, especially their nasal decongestant. Sometimes they get up there and their allergies get to them, they don't sleep very well. This is Ibutab, Ibuprofen, pain relief, and this is the, you know, you see a lot of people wrap duct tape around a credit card. Same concept. This is a credit card, actually it's an AutoZone card, that I cut down and have some medical tape wrapped around that. And gloves. I have gloves. These are specifically for if I come across somebody else that's bleeding profusely. And, you know, these days you never know. So I did throw a pair of gloves in there so I can work on them if need be. And this is something that I think is very important to have in the backcountry. Yes, anti-diarrheal. Diarrhea, as unfortunately many of you know, is not a fun thing. And the big issue that I see with being out in the backcountry is it can dehydrate you. So having something to help prevent that is extremely important. And yeah, I know a lot of you guys are probably looking at expiration date. I need to get rid of these and get some new stuff in there. Now, along with that, I have some more medicine in here. What do we got? We have antihistamine. We've got non-aspirin pain relief. So what I've done is you can see the white non-aspirin pain relief. That's just kind of a description of it, and then pills are embossed with numbers on them. So you see that L4, 84. You will find that embossed on one of these pills. What I mean by embossed, so you have the L4, 84. So it's specifically labeled because I have a bunch of these medicines in one bag. Now, can you see the problem with this? Yes, I can. And I didn't actually realize this until I was on a backpacking trip and someone needed some pain reliever, but they were allergic to something. Was they allergic to aspirin? Anyway, something. And what I have is two forms of pain reliever, but they're sitting there rubbing up against each other and they're in the same bag. They're labeled, but you can see how that would be a problem. So the way I'm going to change this, and it's going to work much better, I think, is the straw method that I just learned from Intense Angler. And I'm not going to go over this in specific detail. If you want to check it out, go to his channel because it's an awesome idea. What you do is you take a straw, you heat up the ends, you seal it off, and you stick your medicine inside, seal it off. Now it's sealed, it's waterproof, you can label it. I might actually put some tape around it and label it like a flag because Sharpie marker will kind of rub off the straw material. But that's how I'm going to change and start using some of these slides of pills right in there like that, and then seal off that end. So great idea from Intense Angler. I'm going to change to that from this plastic bag idea. Another option, I haven't decided if I'm going to do this, and it's because of weight, but I thought about adding one of these. These are just one of those Swiss Army knives. It's a $10 one. If I did do it, I would go back and get a red one to put in here just to make it more visible. But mainly, this is what I really want. So I don't know, maybe even buy this, throw this out. This weighs almost next to nothing. Put this in there. Tweezers, ticks, possibly. I'm not sure how well this would work with ticks. Most of the tweezers I've used to remove ticks are a little bit more robust than this, but I don't know, better than nothing out there. So again, that's just a very, very basic view, guys. I want to keep this as quick as possible. That's what I take on my first aid for backpacking. I try to keep it light, but try to keep some necessary stuff. Big wounds, just normal wounds that maybe need to be covered. Of course, some antibiotic is important to get out there. It's so dirty. And another thing I would recommend is what I'm doing specifically right now, and you can see that I don't do it often enough either, but to go through these first aid kits and get rid of the stuff that's expired, if it's severely expired, and make sure you keep it up to date and keep it refreshed. So, oh, one more thing I almost forgot. One thing I've seen a lot of people do, which I like, is to have an item list of all this stuff. So I thought about making just a piece of paper, typing it out so it sits right here so you can easily view what is inside your first aid kit. All right, guys, there you go. Hopefully that you'll find that helpful. Again, because of the form this is, what I'd like you guys to do, if you would, is add some things down there in the comments that you take on your first aid kits that I may not have here, or something that you think should be added to this. So give me ideas, and then people watching this video can certainly go down there and use that as a resource as well. Thanks much, guys. Talk to you later.